I saw it myself, the way their skin started to shimmer right where the needles bit in. It wasn't just medicine, it was something else entirely. Jax didn't even flinch when the glass tube turned that violent, pulsing violet. He just reached out and brushed a thumb across Alara's cheek, and I'm telling you, I've never seen a man look at a dying princess like she was the only star left in a dead galaxy. His hand was shaking just a little, but the heat coming off them, it was like standing too close to an engine core. I don't think they even noticed me standing there in the corner of the medbay, clutching my scanner like a lifeline. But let's back up a bit. We'd arrived on Eiffelgard 3 days prior, chasing a ghost signal. The prism cities were something else, shattered, sure, but still holding on to this weird crystalline grace. They were silent, though. Not a single soul moving through those streets of glass. Jax was on edge. You could see it in the way he gripped his pulse rifle, his knuckles white against the black composite. He was searching for the missing Luminoran royalty, but I think, deep down, he was searching for a reason to believe the galaxy wasn't as empty as it felt. Then we found her, Arch-Princess Alara. She was in the central spire, slumped against a pillar that glowed with a dying, rhythmic light. The null-void plague had already taken hold. It's a terrifying thing to witness. It's like the person is being erased from reality, pixel by pixel. Her skin was turning into a mist of gray particles. Jax dropped his gear. I remember the sound of his helmet hitting the floor, a hollow, metallic bang that seemed to wake the whole city up. He didn't care about the quarantine or the stay-back orders I was shouting. He just knelt there in the dust, his hands hovering over her. The truth is, Alara was the pinnacle of phasic perfection. Her people were evolved, specialized, beautiful, and that was the problem. They were too perfect to fight back against a virus that attacked the very architecture of their biology. Jax, he was just a man, a collection of biological redundancies and messy adaptations. Primitive chaos meets phasic perfection. He realized it then. He saw that his blood, his thick, red, complicated human blood, might be the only thing that could anchor her back to this world. I watched him prep the transfusion lines. The smell of ozone was thick in the air, mixing with the sterile scent of the medgel. He looked at her, and for a second, the universe felt very small. Beyond the limits of the single state, that's what he was thinking, I'm sure of it. He was moving towards something new. When he finally connected the leads, the vibration of the ship's engines far above seemed to sync up with the thud of his heart. I could see it through his suit's monitors. Fast, steady, desperate. Then came the first spark. As the transfusion began, Jax took her hand in his. Metal met skin, then skin met skin as he peeled back his glove. I saw the stinging behind his eyes as he watched her chest hitch. A transfusion that rewrote the laws of life was beginning right in front of me, and I couldn't look away. I'm telling you, the air in that medbay didn't just get warm, it started to vibrate at a frequency I could feel in my own teeth. Look, I've seen some strange things in the deep sectors, but this was different. When the human blood hit her system, Alara's entire body arched off the table. Jax didn't let go. Not for a second. He leaned in, his forehead pressing against hers, and his lower lip was trembling so hard I thought he might break. I remember the way he looked at her. His eyes were wide, just fixed on hers, while that violet light from the transfusion tubes started to bleed into his own veins. It was like he was pulling the virus out of her and replacing it with his own stubborn will to live. The electric spark of skin meeting skin was constant now. The smell of ozone got so thick it tasted like copper on my tongue. And then, it happened. The pulse. It didn't come from the equipment. It came from them. A quantum wave of pure, golden iridescence erupted from where their hands were locked together. It ripped through the medbay, through the hull of the ship, and rolled across the prism cities of Eiffelgard like a sunrise. I saw the gray mist of the plague just dissolve. It didn't stand a chance against whatever they had become. The city outside started to hum back, a deep, melodic resonance that made the floor tiles under my boots feel alive. Truth is, I think that was the moment the laws of biology just gave up and rewrote themselves. Jax's heart was thudding so loud I could hear it over the ship's engines, but then Alara's heart caught the rhythm. They were breathing in perfect sync. The stinging behind my eyes was real then. seeing two different worlds finally stop fighting and start dancing. Her skin wasn't misting away anymore. It was solid, glowing with a soft, steady warmth that seemed to feed right back into Jack's. When the light finally settled, they didn't move. They just stayed there, wrapped in that silence, the good kind, the kind that feels like a beginning. Jax finally pulled back just an inch, his thumb tracing the line of her jaw. He looked exhausted, sure, but there was this peace on his face I'd never seen before. Ilara reached up, her fingers brushing the pulse point on his neck, and she smiled. It wasn't the smile of a princess anymore. It was the smile of someone who had seen the edge of the universe and decided to come back for the person holding her hand. I watched them walk out of that spire later that evening. They didn't look like a soldier and a royal anymore. They looked like something entirely new. The first of the unified souls. They walked into the light of the Aethelgard suns, their steps perfectly aligned, ready to lead an evolution that didn't care about perfection, only connection. I just stood there and watched them go, knowing the galaxy was never going to be the same again. And honestly, I don't think it should be. Would you like me to generate a cinematic image of Jax